Well, I was expecting a countdown. I didn't get my countdown, so we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Charlie O, and welcome to Make the Money and Run. And it's NFL Draft Day. Boy, a lot of us have been waiting for this for a while. By the way, it's just me today. Vasu Vaddiparty is on assignment. Casey Freelove is on assignment, and so you have me. And so we're just going to have a little conversation about the draft, and we'll get ready for that. That's going to get underway around 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock in the East. I think they actually start calling names about 8:15 in the East and 5:15 out here in the West. So they're going to make a big deal out of it. This prime time first round. That's kind of a fun thing that they do. They make a big deal out of it, and they're going to do it over 3 days. So I always love the third day of the coverage because they have all the talking heads at the desk and they're talking, and in the background, all you can hear is, and with pick number 1,752, they take Fred Smith from Bemidji State. You know, I mean, I know every kid wants to get his name called, so that's important, but they don't pay much attention to it at that point. But tonight is the big night. This is the red carpet night. People in the green room. Some people turning green because they're not getting called, and we'll have that. Somebody's going to tumble. Somebody that we expected to get called high will get called low. Somebody that we expected to get called low will get called high, and we're all going to be going, "How did that happen?" So it will be an interesting night. National Football League. Gosh, does anybody do a better job at getting year-round coverage? I mean, for a while, I thought it was the NBA. The NBA had kind of taken that mantle and really developed the ability to get year-round coverage with the draft lottery and some of the summer leagues and the Olympic teams and the national teams and everything else. And I thought, wow, they've really cornered it. They've got 365-day a year coverage. But now it's the National Football League. It's the league that never ends. It's phenomenal. They just corner it. They just corner it. And I love baseball. I really do. I grew up on baseball. First professional sporting event I ever saw was a baseball game. But we can call baseball America's pastime all we want. And I got to tell you, it's not. It's football. It really is. You have to admit that it is football because it just never ends. It never ever ends. And tonight will be living proof of it. The ratings will be off the charts. Look how we've been talking about it. Look at all the mock drafts. And even from a wagering standpoint, and that's how we're going to look at it today. We're not going to spend time looking at mock drafts and who's doing what and everything else. We're going to look at it from a wagering standpoint. And it's kind of fun because a lot of it's prop based stuff. And so that's how we're going to run through it today. But all the talk. I mean, the NBA is winding down. There are still a lot of playoff positions being fought for. They have their play in with the teams 7 through 10 being fought for, and it's all secondary information. Baseball, full tilt boogie right now. It's going. We're talking football. So, National Football League, tip of the hat to you. By the way, if you notice, I do not have a team hat on today. I have my hat of neutrality. I have my hat with a palm tree on it. My mom lives in Ohio. Dear sweetie, she's 93 years old. And whenever she comes to California to see me, her thing that she loves more than anything else are palm trees. So this is mom's hat. Whenever we chat, I try to have my palm tree hat on because she loves palm trees. So, Mama, I got your hat on today, and that's for her. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about the draft. But the first thing we want to talk about is there was one significant move yesterday made, and that was that the Denver Broncos picked up Teddy Bridgewater from Carolina, so they now have a starting quarterback. I don't think that's a long-term situation. Teddy's a good quarterback. I like Teddy. I think that he deserves some success, deserves to be with a team that would appreciate him and let him go a little farther. I think Carolina would have been happy to have him and they would have done well with him. But I think picking up Sam Darnold was a good move for them. And Teddy wasn't going to get to play. So I think moving on to Denver will be a good thing for him. But it's not a long term answer. Now, interestingly enough, the word is now that because they have Teddy Bridgewater, that Denver is out of the market for a quarterback, at least in the early rounds. Now, I think that's crazy because Teddy Bridgewater is not going to be a long term answer for quarterback. And Denver hasn't had a good quarterback in a long while. Let me prove that to you. This comes from ESPN Stats and Information. Since 2016, these have been the quarterbacks that have played for the Denver Broncos: Trevor Seaman, Drew Lock, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler, Brandon Allen, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, and Philip Lindsay. Really? And John Elway is the president of football operations there. A great quarterback who obviously at this point doesn't have a great eye for quarterbacks. I mean, when they had Peyton Manning, yeah, that was a no-brainer. I could have brought Peyton Manning in. I know enough to do that. But you know what? He's not done well with that. He just hasn't. So they've got to do something there long term for quarterback. And I'm not saying they need to go find somebody and have them come in and start, because I think Bridgewater is a good, if you will, bridge to the future. But man, they got to get a quarterback. They got to find somebody out there to do a long-term situation. And I know that they've done some things to change the organization there, where Elway's now going to have some help, because he just hasn't made good decisions personnel wise, particularly at quarterback, which I think is a little surprising. And this is not a hate John Elway session, by the way. I watched John play when he was at Stanford. I thought he was a good quarterback. John's dad was the head coach at San Jose State. When I was there, I covered the team when John's dad was there as a coach. So this is not a hate John Elway session. He just hasn't done a good job in picking personnel, particularly a quarterback. And they need to do something there. But apparently, they don't have any intentions of looking at anybody in the first round at quarterback anyway. That's the word, especially now that they've gotten Bridgewater. So we'll see. Although there's a lot of precedent to say don't do anything in the first round at quarterback. A lot of history, a lot of odds, a lot of percentages say wait. And of course, then we can always say, well, Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round. And yeah, okay. We'll get to a lot of that stuff when we can too. By the way, scrolling across the bottom of your screen, you'll notice that we're brought to you by Viget, the Viget app. A lot of fun. You can socialize with your friends. You can try out a lot of your theories about how you'd like to wager. They have everything on their information, research for you. You can get involved in their contest and actually wager on games with free coins. There's things that you can win. They give away Amazon gift cards like crazy. So you can get involved and try all of that. It's a fun site. They have tournaments. You can become an expert and be part of their expert teams from time to time if you do well enough. So Casey's girlfriend, Casey Freelove's girlfriend, gets involved in it, and she's won a bunch of gift cards and made us all look bad because she knows how to play underdogs better than anybody I've ever seen. So Becky has made us all look bad. So it's something that's really fun. Doesn't cost you any money, and it's all for free. Download the Viget app. When you get there and it says, did somebody recommend you? There's a code. If you just put in what you see up in the corner there, MTMAR, we would sure appreciate it because it lets them know that Make the Money and Run sent you there. So if you do that, we'd appreciate it. I'm going to give me just a second here because since I'm here on my own, I'm trying to, this is the first time I've ever done this solo, so I'm uh, trying to negotiate a few things here. I want to get the draft order up here. We're going to do a little inside baseball with you here, so I'm going to change what's rolling across the screen there at the bottom, and we'll get that going here. There we go. Some of the draft order for you, and then we'll add the last part of the teams going. But these are some of the prop bets that are available. We're just going to talk about some of the prop wagering bets that are available for the draft and make that fun. So we're going to do it from a wagering standpoint. Now, I understand, I did not know this, but I was listening to a show out of Vegas this morning while I was driving around doing some errands, and I understand that everything there's not draft prop bets up on the board in Vegas. If I understood that all correctly, that all the props are on things like FanDuel and on different apps around the country. One of the things they were talking about, a lot of the apps in Michigan have props. So that if you're in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, you can jump across the state line, download the apps, and get in on it that way. By the way, that's something you can do if you live near a state line and are near someplace where they have online betting. You can jump across the line. For instance, I used to live in South Bend, Indiana, and the city limits for Mishawaka and South Bend, the state line is the city limits in state line, Michigan. So you can jump across into Niles, Michigan, and download an app and do whatever you want to do, and then go back into Indiana. So there's things that you can do that way. So I understand that they have a lot of props in Michigan right now, but I'm sure that's true around the country and a lot of places too. So you may want to check this out. I'm going to give you some odds. One of the things we always tell you, odds change constantly. They change, they're dynamic, they change on a second by second basis. So if I give you an odd, don't go use an app and say, well, they gave us the odds on Make the Money and Run. Always double check the odds because they're dynamic and they change. So always, please, please, please check those. Okay. But here we go. Draft odds on who will be the first defensive player picked. And Micah Parsons, right now, the odds are plus 525 that he will be the first defensive player picked. Panay Sewell, the odds are plus 650 that he'll be the first non-quarterback picked. So that'll be interesting. Devonta Smith, the first wide receiver drafted. The odds plus 1,100. And Trey Sampson, the first running back drafted, plus 7,500. Now I got to tell you, you got a little change. Don't, and you know, we always tell you in everything, sports wagering is supposed to be fun. If you're betting the farm or you're doing something where you think this is going to save your finances, please, please call a friend and get right. Okay? Because this is not intended to change your life. This is intended to have fun. Now, sometimes people hit things and it is life-changing, okay? So is buying a lottery ticket sometimes. But that's not what this is about. This is about having fun. But 75 plus 7,500. I mean, that, you know, you get a nice vacation out of that if that would happen to happen. Now, first overall pick, I got to tell you, I helped produce a talk show here in Sacramento, D'Lo and KC on ESPN 1320. And D'Lo, Damian Barling, the other day had the greatest line, and I want to give him credit for it, full credit for it, because I'm going to use it right now. He said, when Roger Goodell starts the draft tonight, and he declares that the 2021 draft is now open, then needs to say, and on the clock are the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Come on down, just like they do on The Price is Right, because we all know what it is. Don't waste our time. Don't put 10 minutes on the clock. Don't do anything else. Just get the jersey, get the hat, come down, get the hug, take the pictures, get him off the stage, go to commercial, and then let's keep rolling with the show. Because we know I mean, let's just move on. Because let me give you the odds that Trevor Lawrence is the first pick. Minus 20,000. It will cost you $20,000 to win 100. Him the first pick. Zach Wilson plus 2,000, Justin Fields plus 3, Sewell plus 5, Trey Lance plus 10,000, Jamar Chase plus 10. So there you go. So there's some props on that. Stay away from that one, please. Then second overall pick. Now this does get interesting. Zach Wilson minus 5, Justin Fields plus 18, Trey Lance plus 4, Trevor Lawrence. Well, take Trevor Lawrence out of there. That doesn't count. Now, let me tell you why I think that's interesting. There's a mass assumption right now that Zach Wilson is going to the Jets. Now, there's a lot of controversy over whether Zach Wilson should go to the Jets because a lot of people feel like he is an injury liability. A lot of people feel like he's a walking mass unit, if you will. And there's a lot of concern that he is not physically going to be able to hold up in the National Football League. There are a lot of experts who feel also that he has not faced the kind of competition at BYU that makes him ready for the National Football League. Now, I know there's a bit of a dichotomy there because we used to think about, excuse me just a second. Not having Vasu and Casey here today, I'm talking a lot without any other break in talking. We used to think of BYU as a powerhouse and playing nothing but powerhouse teams. And that's true. They used to do that. But now, as an independent, they don't see that. Now, we tend to think of independence, we tend to think automatically of Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is not as independent as they used to be because they have a high commitment to, I believe at minimum of 5 games a year now to the ACC because all of their other sports are in the ACC conference. So they still see some big time independence. They still play Michigan. They still play USC. They have all of that. But BYU has had a tough time in putting together an independent schedule that has been a really high quality, tough schedule. So they have not seen that. And then in a year of COVID, they had a really tough time because they had games scheduled that got canceled. And much to their credit, if they got a game canceled on Thursday, somehow they were getting a game still ready to go on Saturday. Hey, if we got somebody that'll play, we'll play. But you have to remember, this is a team that was playing pretty well, but then went to Coastal Carolina. And this is not to denigrate Coastal Carolina because they had a great team, obviously. But BYU went in there and got beat. There is no way that BYU, if BYU is who BYU claims to be, should have gone in there and gotten beat. So there's a lot of questions around whether or not Zach Wilson should be the number 2 pick. The other thing about that is, what have we heard about the number 2 pick from the New York Jets? That's right. You just heard what I said. We've heard nothing. We have heard absolutely nothing from the Jets about the number 2 pick. Now, does Zach Wilson going to the Jets fit? Absolutely. Taking a project, taking somebody who's injury prone and already has strikes against them before they ever go in there absolutely fits what the Jets would do. Because I don't know that the Jets have made a really good draft pick since Joe Namath. I mean, really. I mean, that's not totally true, but really, I mean, they've made horrible picks. So making a wrong pick with Zach Wilson totally fits the scenario. that they would go. Now, I don't know. I'm not a quarterback whisperer. I don't know all the things behind the scenes. The quick release, the feet, all those things. I don't know all those in depth things well enough to know whether or not they are. But Zach Wilson, is he the number 2 pick? Everybody seems to think so, but that could be a surprise. But nobody seems to think so. So we'll have to see how that goes. I like the fact, though, that there is a little intrigue there. Number 3 pick. Right now, the odds are looking. And by the way, these odds are from Caesars William Hill. So these aren't from Make the Money and Run. By the way, these are from a very legitimate thing. We didn't cook these up in the back room last night. Trey Lance is minus 200 to be the 3rd pick. Mac Jones plus 160. Justin Fields plus 850. Kyle Pitts plus 4,000. Now, of course, 49ers, they traded up, traded away some futures. So everybody says this has got to be a quarterback. You would think so. And right now, the prevailing statement is that it is Mac Jones. Now, I have to tell you, being based in Northern California, the fan base, and of course, a lot of the experts are just saying, not Mac Jones. This guy doesn't fit. What are you doing? You're getting rid of a non-mobile pocket quarterback to get a non-mobile pocket quarterback. And everybody seems to think that they want a Mahomes, they want a Russell Wilson. Well, doesn't everybody? Well, the problem is, and we just talked about it a little bit, with Zach Wilson being an injury-prone guy. I love Justin Fields, but I am worried about his size and health. Although I think I might wind up being wrong on that. I just have to tell you, I really do. I really question my feelings of negativity on that. But Casey's going to like me for this because Casey's our SEC guy and he loves Alabama. Mac Jones has played college football at the highest level you possibly can play it. We've often talked about if there were relegation in pro football, that Alabama would bounce in and out of the NFL. Now, we all know that's a bit of an extreme because that's not really going to happen, but it could. It seems like from time to time. This guy has played football at the highest level. He's had the best coaching you can possibly have. This guy is no slouch. And the 49ers system, I don't know that the 49ers system requires a Justin Fields or a Zach Wilson or a Mahomes or a Wilson. I really don't. As a matter of fact, there's some rumors out today that the 49ers had been trying to work a trade for Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers certainly is none of those. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think some of the angst that the fan base and some of the analysts have about Mac Jones is way overblown. I think he may well be undervalued right now in the eyes of analysts. I think this guy is going to be far better. And it may be, other than Trevor Lawrence, because Lawrence has got the experience that he has, may well be one of the most undervalued players in all of the draft. But very interesting that where we used to say never draft a quarterback in the first round, and we're looking right here at 3 quarterbacks going potentially in 1, 2, and 3. In fact, would be shocked. I mean, utterly shocked if that's not what happens. Number 4, probably Kyle Pitts. Right now, by the way, Justin Fields. Let's get into some over and unders real quick here. Justin Fields, over 7.5, plus 110, under 7.5, minus 140. If he doesn't go to the Niners, there's a lot of feeling that he's not going to go maybe till 9, 10 on down. Although and see, here's the draft day rumors, and you got to be really careful with these. There's been a lot of rumors that the Falcons are going to surprise everybody today. Now, Matt Ryan's long in the tooth. And if they didn't owe Matt Ryan um, all the gold in California, he might be gone now. They most certainly need a quarterback, but I don't know that they're going to expend the capital of a number one pick to pick a quarterback. But there's been rumors that they could totally blow out every mock draft at number 4. Intrigue? But remember, it's a rumor. It's just a rumor. So we'll have to see. Kyle Pitts, the over 5.5 is plus 280. The under 5.5 is minus 380. If you're going to be in that one, go under. Go under. You know, if Atlanta doesn't take him for some reason, Miami certainly is. So that's there. Jamar Chase, over 5.5, 170, under 5.5, minus 210. Sewell, over 6.5, minus 115, under minus 115. Something to think about there. Let's see. Any other ones here that we want to go? Devonta Smith, over 11.5, minus 135, under plus 105. There was a couple other ones here that I wanted to get to. First non-quarterback drafted. Kyle Pitts, minus 400. Jamar Chase, plus 400. Sewell, plus 900. Rashawn Slater, plus 1,500. So there's a couple interestings there. First wide receiver to be drafted. Jamar Chase, plus 1,200. Jalen Waddle, plus 600. Devonta Smith, plus 1,000. Terrence Marshall Jr., plus 6,000. So there's a couple interesting props there that you might want to get into. First running back drafted. Oh, by the way, I know that we haven't talked about that, but did you know they still draft running backs in the National Football League? Yes, they do. Who knew? Because we don't talk about them anymore. Najee Harris, minus 225 to be first. Travis Etienne, plus 170. Javonte Williams, plus 700. Kenneth Gainwell, plus 8,000. Michael Carter, plus 8,000. Trey Sermon, plus 8,000. First offensive lineman drafted. Sewell, plus minus 500. Slater, plus 275. Darrisaw, plus 3,000. Elijah Vera Tucker, plus 4,000. I can't remember which one it is. One of a really good D lineman that's on the board is dropping down, and his over-under is like 23.5. And they're saying there's a good chance that if he doesn't go like at 24, he could fall out of the first round. That's incredible to me. This draft is right now in the projections going so offensive minded. It is absolutely scary. It is just absolutely scary because it is just nuts. It is just nuts. There are some prop bets out there right now that the first 10 picks, and I don't have the odds for you. I'm sorry. There's so many of them. I just couldn't pull them all together. But there's some prop bets out there that the first 10 picks of the draft are all going to be players on offense. Not just quarterbacks, but receivers, linemen, that kind of thing. That's incredible. I mean, it used to be that defensive linemen, defensive backs were the most coveted thing that you could get, followed by offensive linemen. And we're looking at 3 quarterbacks and a wide receiver in the first 4, maybe 5. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's just it's just going to be a nutty draft, and it's going to be fun. We're going to be breaking this draft down for like forever. I got to share with you one other prop that I found on Action Network that I thought was just crazy. Let me let me pull this up here. Bear with me for a second. I just zipped right by it on my phone, and they're blowing up everything with follow up comments on it here. This is from FanDuel, and the prop is who the draft order for running backs. this this is a tough one, and it would be this is the best odds right here. Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Travis Etienne, and they would have to go right in this order. The odds are plus 1100. The next one is it would be Etienne, Williams, Harris plus 1400. The next offer is Williams, Etienne, Harris plus 3400. And then the last one is Williams, Harris, Etienne plus 6,000. So you literally have a cornucopia of opportunities there if you want to get involved in props. But just just make sure that just have a little fun with it. Again, don't try to make your house payment. Just have a little fun with it and have a good time. We want to thank Viget. We love you folks at the Viget app. If you haven't checked it out, check them out. You'll have a good time with the app. You get a chance to kind of work your theories about how you might like to wager. Plus the fact they have great contests. And who doesn't love Amazon gift cards? Everybody. I mean, I love it when my Amazon guy comes. I feel like it's Santa Claus coming. I do. I call him Santa Claus. And he just loves it because the first thing I do, if I'm out in my garage working or whatever, I yell, Santa! Of course, he thinks I'm crazy, but so does everybody else. It's all right. So anyway, there we go. It's draft day. We're not too far away. Hope you're going to be able to spend it with some friends and have a good time. Vasu will be back with me tomorrow at 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific. Casey is going to be on assignment for a couple of days. Hopefully he'll be able to be back with us on Monday. But Vasu and I will be breaking down the draft and telling you how we were right. And I can guarantee you we will be telling you how we were so wrong, because we are going to be so wrong someplace. It's guaranteed. In the meantime, enjoy the day. Good luck, and we'll see ya.